Greetings and salutations, listener. It is I, Eric J. Chucky, joined as always by Reverse Me, the boy.
Hey.
This is the Two Nerds podcast. Before we get into today's topic, if you could head into the subscription, click all those links, buy the shit you find there, follow us on Twitter. Shining Wizauto Super Blizzard. I almost said Shining Wizard Super Wizauto. Bandcamp. That down there in links too. He does a theme song, Let's Get Hardcore, as well as all of the other music for stuff I do on here that isn't obviously from Final Fantasy. This week, October, this has not been the October I wanted. I won't go too far into detail, but at least on the podcast end of things, I wanted to do a repeat of last year and do like Halloween themed stuff, but fuck, we did it all last year.
Yes, we accomplished what we needed to do. We did all the stuff the Two Nerds podcast has on Halloween. Aside from us just making another podcast on how much we like Halloween.
It's great.
So, for this week, today, actually, we sat down and finally got around to watching the pilot for the Flash TV show.
Yeah, we're like a year behind the rest of the world.
Yeah, well, we heard it was good.
About 9 months, I guess.
Yeah. I think me and him both separately heard it was good, and we wanted to watch it, but we don't have cable.
We did when it came out, but we're lazy.
And then we got rid of it because I hadn't watched TV and television in 6 months or something. So,
well, and I have a hard time watching TV. I mean, even that new season of Longmire's been out for a month now. More than. No, exactly a month. I still haven't gotten to watch it.
Just Netflix and stuff is so much better for me because it allows me to watch what I want to watch without having to worry about, did I TiVo this properly? Did I get it on my DVR? Is it going to work? Is the DVR going to break? No, Netflix, by and large, just works.
Yep.
And then Flash showed up on Netflix, and it showed up a little while ago, beginning of this month, maybe, I think?
Yeah, around the middle of it. Like last week, I think.
And I've been wanting to watch it since it showed up, so has he, but we just hadn't had time. I actually kind of wanted to watch it as a unit, that way we could talk about it on the podcast, and we finally got time today, so it's fresh in our minds.
And given that we like to fill half an hour on this subject, not only is this going to be about the Flash pilot, but also how it relates to the DC universe and the movies universe as a whole. But we'll get into that after we talk about the pilot a little bit. Are we recapping this? I assume they've seen it.
I would say first, standard two nerds format, spoiler-free review, 5 seconds of silence, then spoiler review.
Alrighty. It was, I believe I said during the show, about a quarter as good as Daredevil, but awesome.
Yeah, I would say that's a reasonable. I wouldn't exactly say a quarter good as Daredevil because I think they are different enough that they can't really be graded on the same scale. They're both superhero shows, but they're aiming for entirely different things. They're both good. I would say Daredevil's better, but Flash is a good show. If you're interested in a very, very DC style, very DC style superhero show, I would say Flash is your jam. You're gonna love it.
And I have some rebuttals about that, but I mean, there you go. There's your spoiler free. I'm going to go ahead and institute the 5 seconds of silence, which will not actually be silent because during that time I am going to open my soda. So go ahead and close your browsers or navigate away, mute your phone, whatever it is you do. Sweet rock and rye. Alright, that's long enough. So, here's where I kind of have to argue.
Okay, I'm interested.
I meant to get into this more at the end of the podcast, but since you brought it up, I don't think it's unfair to compare this show to Daredevil, although they are on the opposite side of the coin, tonally speaking.
Yeah, they are on opposite sides of the sliding scale of idealism versus cynicism. Daredevil's very down to earth. It's very much people people first, but people with powers going through problems. They save the day, but they also have personal issues, stuff like that. Realistic people having problems and saving the world. Whereas, although the interpersonal stuff is not there in the Flash, it is. He has like a love interest thing and a thing with his dad and stuff. It's not as intense. It's not as much a focus of the series. They're very much going for the DC style of things. DC makes myths. They make legends. They make people you're supposed to look up to. Marvel makes people you're supposed to empathize with.
While I don't disagree with that assessment in the least, I'm not comfortable putting those things into those boxes, dusting off my hands, and calling it a day. I think this show could be just as intense as Daredevil. Certainly not as serious. That's not Barry. But
More Barry than Wally.
Well, yeah. But it suffers a lot from, and this was the pilot. I mean, for all I know, the rest of the series could be, could fix all of the things I'm about to talk about. But it suffers from cable show dialogue exposition issues.
Yeah, it does.
Like, there are times when a point needs to get across and there needs to be an emotional moment, and it's just sort of thrown at you.
So then, like, the guy who used to play, I think he had a television show back in the day, like Ed or something. He was JD's older brother on Scrubs. Gets on the mic and be like, Flash, you're the hero. Be a hero, Flash. It's ridiculous. It's amazing.
Well, yeah, and I don't know that that's necessarily tonally what they were trying to do, but it's them doing the best they had, or rather the best they could with what they had available to them, including resources like time management and minutes in the episode and keeping pacing around commercials, etc., etc. Daredevil, a lot of the reason it's as good as it is, and you and I discussed this in our Daredevil review podcast, is because it's got that full hour to kind of work its mojo.
And because it knows it's all going up at once.
Uh-huh.
It doesn't have to worry about, like, keeping people hooked week to week. It can unspool very naturally, like a long movie. Whereas this kind of has to keep, like, even the pilot kind of has to, like, all right, and don't come back for the next episode, folks.
Yeah, which isn't bad,
no,
but
it's a different goal.
It's the difference between, going and getting a really juicy burger at Red Robin and stopping by the Burger King drive-thru.
See, I don't know that I grade, they're so different. Shows that appear on television that have to account for commercials and stuff are so different from, like, movies and Netflix series and stuff like that. It's not that I don't code them. It's not that I don't grade them on entirely different scales. It's that I cut series that have commercials and stuff a break. Because
sure. I'm not saying
I don't let the stuff that has to be done because of the format it's in necessarily. I try not to let it impact my assessment of the program.
Well, and I mean, one has to take that into account. I agree with that entirely. However, at the end of the day, I am going to view it the same way regardless. So my enjoyment of the finished product is rather dependent on those differences therein. Daredevil obviously has the opportunity to take advantage of the way I am going to be viewing it, whereas...
like the difference between watching a movie at, like on DVD, and then watching it on TV when it's been cut up. It's gonna affect your... Movies aren't made for that frame, so it affects the pacing.
Exactly. So, that being said, let's say the same group of writers, the same effects team, the same actors had a better budget.
The budget was fine. The effects were good.
They were okay. They were above.
See, Daredevil got away by not doing that many effects.
Oh no, and I'm not comparing it to Daredevil here. I'm just saying in general, their effects are
TV class,
a little bit better than TV class. I mean, like even the budget behind Once Upon a Time, I thought the effects were a little bit better than that.
Which, to be fair, Once Upon a Time's effects are usually pretty shitty.
I mean, they're for TV.
Yep.
You're gonna see this shit for like 3 minutes in between commercial breaks. It doesn't fucking matter. You're not here for the effects. It's not a movie. And the same holds true for The Flash. But if they had a bigger budget, if they had the same team, and they had the option, the opportunity to make this series with the trappings of a Netflix series or a film, I think it would be great.
See, but I feel like that's unfair to the medium. That's as much as saying as Netflix series are inherently better than a classic TV
you're
series.
Filling in the rest of my sentence with, but otherwise it's shitty. The point I'm trying to make here is that I wish this is what we were getting out of our DC movies instead of Batman and the Infinite Sadness.
This feels much more, well, to be fair, like, that felt like a Flash thing. Flash is a lighter property, so he fits better.
Well, and you know what honestly it reminded me of, as much as I didn't like this show, was Smallville. It had tonal similarity.
Yeah, it was very much your CW, DC program.
Yeah, and it was fine. I didn't like Smallville for different reasons. But
don't worry. I've told him I've told him he's wrong so many times, listener. He doesn't get it. He doesn't get it. I can't do it anymore. He doesn't understand.
It stems from my general lack of empathy or aspiration towards Superman.
And you gotta have one of those too.
Yeah. I mean, he's a nice guy and everything. He's not my hero. And that, I mean, the fucking show is going in with both legs crippled. At least it's got its arms, but I don't like what it does with its arms.
Fair enough.
But I feel this show, tonally speaking, you know, obviously a 2015 show instead of 2002?
I don't fucking even know, dude. It's been so many years.
But I feel like they're very similar programs. More so than Supernatural being a spiritual successor to Buffy, as so many people told me it was.
And then no.
No. But yet, you know, that's still Superman. It's teenage Superman, but it's still Superman.
This is Flash. Like, this feels like the Flash.
Right, but like, I don't see any reason why this kind of fun action couldn't be the big screen movies.
Essentially it's probably because this ventures into the realm of guestitude.
Well, right, and I'm not asking for a flat answer. I can assume it's because DC is scared, or Warner Brothers is scared, or they want to set themselves apart from Marvel.
I think it's probably that. I think it's probably that they want to set themselves apart from Marvel. And partly because the things they're taking their inspiration from are more serious fare. Because, like, one of the big inspirations for, at the very least, the aesthetics of this movie is The Dark Knight Returns, which is really fucking serious fare. And it's very heavy, it is a Frank Miller comic in the best tradition of those.
Alright, but like...
And I don't think it's entirely the story inspiration, but at the very least it's the aesthetic inspiration, and they're pulling a lot of theming from it, so...
Right, well, but... And I guess we can't talk about this film because we haven't seen it, but...
Oh, I'm prejudging the fuck out of this film.
Well, but to be absolutely fair, we can't really. But even Man of Steel, even the Batman, the Dark Knight trilogy, which
the Dark Knight trilogy was also very heavy.
Yeah, well, I mean, I liked 60% of that trilogy.
Yeah, it's fair.
70, thereabouts.
There were really good parts in Batman Begins. There were good parts in The Dark Knight Rises. And The Dark Knight is really good.
There's like only one major flaw in that movie.
And
that's about like 2/3 of the way through. It slows the fuck down.
Which you don't notice the first couple times through.
No, but when you're at home viewing that, you're like, oh, it's nap time. It's time to go get
Oh,
my popcorn.
fuck it. I guess this is the part where Bruce Wayne balances his fucking checkbook. Just ace one shot, just right on him at the desk, just carrying the one across it.
25 minutes of Jim Gordon trying to get his hair to do the.
He can't
thing.
quite manage it.
I almost got not quite.
No, it's not even a montage like you see in some comedy movies.
Yeah,
It's just him. One shot, him in his bathroom mirror.
Continuous take. But I liked Dark Knight Rises because I'm a huge Bane fan, and other than that voice,
that was perfect.
They did that character so much fucking credit. I liked The Dark Knight Rises because they made me give a shit about Catwoman.
Best Catwoman.
I don't, the problems I have with Dark Knight Rises come with
silly voices.
Weird lame sauce Batman, silly voice Bane, Robin.
Let's not. Moving on. Back to the Flash. Back to the thing we're talking about.
Well, and this is where I'm trying to draw my comparison here is, we've also seen big blockbuster films that are based on serious fucking comic books. One that even shares a fucking director. And they were executed so much more enjoyably. I point you to The Watchmen. I point you to Sin City.
You know what? No, Sin City wasn't light, though. It was serious.
It was. Fucking Watchmen was serious, but it was a ride, These movies aren't rides. It's like Grandpa's sitting us down and telling us a story, and we're gonna learn something, goddammit. The Flash is, in terms of a television show, and could be, if they kept the same aesthetics in terms of a movie, a ride. And I enjoyed the ride. I think I wouldn't even have to say it was a quarter as good as Daredevil if they didn't have to deal with those foibles of, hello, I am the Flash, I am a hero now. Does everyone understand that? You good?
Which means that the thing after the pilot might be good.
Oh, sure.
I'm not sure why you needed to, backhanded compliment the whole series by saying, it was good. Could be better if DC movies.
Well, I mean, and that's, like I said, I wanted to go to the end of the podcast with that, but you kind of led with something that prompted it. No, I really enjoyed how it reminded me a lot of Ant-Man, honestly, but TV show form. It wasn't afraid to be
not
funny.
As witty.
No, nowhere near as witty.
Very earnest.
It wasn't afraid to be funny. Yeah, it was very earnest. It was very frenetic. And
I really like what they're doing. I really like what they're doing with the Flash's power set. You get a real sense of speed, which is sometimes hard to convey.
Yeah, it's a little goofy now and then, but
I don't mind that. I don't mind that for the Flash because the Flash is kind of goofy.
Sure, yeah, I'm not. But I'm glad that they weren't inhibited in any way. That they're more than happy to drop Weather Wizard on you in the first episode.
Motherfucker. And I love that they call out the biggest thing about Weather Wizard in the first episode.
Yeah, is that you got all this power, what do you do? Thanks.
Just, beautiful. Beautiful A+ class.
Which is what I'm really looking forward to most in this show, because as we've talked about very briefly previously, most of the villains that I thought were Superman villains that I really liked are Flash villains, secretly.
That Superman fought one time.
Superman stole.
Because they were way better. Because Flash Rogues are the best, dude. Flash Rogues are so fucking hilariously cool. You got two different super gorillas. You got, let's see here, Weather Wizard.
Toyman.
You got the Trickster, who, by the way, that's what sold me on this series. That is 100% what sold me on this series.
Fucking Leonard Snart.
Yep,
that's gonna be good.
Oh, it's gonna be joyous. Knocked the thing over. But I really enjoyed the show. I am looking forward to watching more of it. The one part of the show I thought was really, 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 really out of place, really, really corny, and I understood why it was there, but the show would have been much better if it wasn't there.
What's that?
The whole section with Arrow.
Yeah, I mean,
with a whole section where they just stop the whole damn show to go, remember kids, Arrow's also a show we make. It's tied in. You should watch Arrow. Watch Arrow. Watch it.
Well, and that's kind of what it seems like to us, but to the rest of the world, it's like, hey, it's your buddy Arrow. Remember him? You love him
I
so
don't.
damn
That's
much?
not fucking Oliver Queen. That's Oliver Queen's emo younger brother. Oliver's supposed to be a happy guy. That's one of his defining fucking characteristics. And I don't feel bad about this, because me and Neil fucking Adams is also mad about this, so I'm alright.
That's, I know how you feel sometimes now. I mean, I don't care for the show either. I'm just not as full of vitriol there.
I'm not even that big a fan of Oliver, but by God, that's a different dude wearing his face.
Not really. He's got dark hair. He doesn't have the funny mustache.
Yeah, the funny mustache, you know what, I can understand why the funny mustache isn't there, but at the very least, let him be, like, he's so, like, what little I've seen in that show, he's always so fucking dour. Like, the little tiny bits of him doing, like, of him smiling and cracking, like, half, I am grumbly, I am our Batman. We're not allowed to have Batman on TV, so I'm gonna be Batman. Thing. But then he, like, at the end, he did a thing, which is what Oliver would do, which was the best part of that whole scene. As Flash as Barry's running away super fast, he goes, cool. And then, like, swings away. That was an Oliver moment. I was happy.
And you know, maybe Arrow, like, matures into itself. Because, again, as we mentioned a million times, there's so many TV shows out there where I watch the first 5 episodes and I'm like, this sucks. Why the fuck am I watching it? And somebody who's a fan of it goes, oh, you have to get to the first season. First season's crap.
Then why would I watch this?
Why the hell? Why did you watch this?
Well, the first season's awful. Then why are you watching?
How did we both get here? What happened? First season of Flash so far, not awful.
Yeah.
This pilot, very hopeful. I'm not chomping at the bit to watch more, but I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, same. I'm not, it's not the thing I'm gonna do when the podcast is over.
Yeah, no. But
it is a thing that I'm gonna do. Because it seems very interesting and I'm excited for it.
Yeah, I'm excited to see a lot of my favorite DC villains. The interpretations they make, and they do the serious interpretations, serious-ish, without...
Well, Weather Wizard was pretty heavy, but...
Yeah, he was kind of heavy, but they don't...
They don't hammer you over the head with it. It's not... I'm not seeing the fucking dirge, the funeral dirge that is Batman and the Infinite Sadness happening.
Yeah, that's basically what I'm talking about here. I mean, like, they're okay with going, alright, look, there's gonna be a Weather Wizard.
Alright, real talk. Be prepared for a thing called Gorilla Grodd. That's gonna happen.
Yeah, we will give you just, like, ample notice that is totally a thing that's going to happen.
Just, like, get your body ready, because that's the track we're on.
But instead of making it fucking goofy, like the origin of Turner D Century or something.
Fuck, that was a good pull.
They try to update it, modernize it, make it fit in with this something teens and 20-somethings find cool world. And it works because they work it. Really, to reverse what I originally said, or invert, or explain from the other end, I would like this show so much better if they had more time to have their dialogue be delivered more naturally. The reason they don't have time is the constraints of the television atmosphere.
Honestly, I think part of the problem is that it's a pilot. In a pilot, you have to get the whole concept of the show out right up front.
Because a lot of shit did happen in that.
The rest of the show might be better.
Yeah. And I'm going to give it a shot. It's not even like, I've made my judgment and I think it's going to be this way. Because, I mean, anytime anybody is ragging on a pilot, I'm like, motherfucker, do you remember the pilot of Buffy?
Hoo boy!
I ain't even talking about the unaired pilot with Fat Chick Willow. I'm talking about the first episode that aired on national television that people for some reason kept watching the show from.
Look, alright, you gotta cut pilots a little slack, and I'm more than happy to here, because it was good, so...
I still haven't gotten into more Arrow. I did watch the Arrow pilot, but man, that was... it's not what I wanted out of that series. If I wanted a Batman series, I would want a Batman series. And this is me. You've heard me go on and on about, like, listener, I'm sure I've mentioned, I fucking love Archers in, like, everything. Archers are really cool. I don't know what it is,
But, like, if there's a dude firing a bow and arrow on the screen or in the book or whatever, I'm down for this. I have no interest in Arrow. None.
You're not
missing much.
I don't know. Like I said, I only watched the pilot, but you're not the target audience.
I'm a comic book nerd. I love archers. Hell, I even kind of like Oliver Queen, despite the fact he's a gigantic douche.
You're mistaking what the target audience is.
No, I'm telling you the target audience that a comic book television show should be made for.
But that's not who they made it for. They took a comic book television show idea and adapted it to a 20-somethings drama.
But I can enjoy that if it's made well. Case in point, I like Smallville a lot. I posit that 9 times out of 10, I am more than happy to go, this is good, this isn't made for me. No, not the case, this isn't good.
I can't comment much. I'd like to rebut you, but I've only seen the pilot.
And I'm not the kind of guy who watches something I hate just so I can shit on it more, so I'm not gonna watch more just to prove my point.
Yeah, I'm sure at some point I'll be bored enough to catch a couple more episodes, but that is a point far flung into the future. Now, that being said, I'm sure the listener has some questions, because this is not the only DC television program that premiered in the last calendar year.
No, it's not.
So,
it's the only one I'm super hyped for, though.
The other one is on Netflix.
Really?
Yep.
Didn't know that.
Gonna be watching you some Gotham soon?
Fucking no. Why the fuck would I watch that show?
I have no idea.
Look, alright. There's a version of that show I would watch. No joke. There's a version of that show that I would watch.
Just fucking do a bit for me?
Yeah.
Just for me?
Yeah, just for you.
Right, that's... Carry on, please.
There's a version of that show that I would watch. But it's not the version they made. The version they made is not interesting to me. A show...
Oh, yeah, I've heard this speech. Okay, yeah, please tell the listener.
I don't know that you have, but we'll see.
Okay.
You want a show about Gotham City and all the crazy shit that happens in Gotham City. And you want to be able to trade on that sweet, sweet Batman name. But you can't have Batman in it, because Ben Affleck's not gonna do TV. Okay, fine. Do a Gotham PD show. I don't know why this is hard. Do a Gotham PD show. Do a show about the Gotham Police Department. Because they made a comic book about that shit. You can just pull stuff straight out of that comic. And then you have a show. And I'll be interested. Because, you might get one frame of the Cape swooshing by in a season. Or, they mention him. Or he brings in, the Riddler or something. And they gotta deal with the Riddler's jackass trying to break out of prison. You can frame it around Batman without having to pay Ben Affleck to show up. That's fine. I would be interested in that show. Batman never has to be in it, but it's still the Gotham City I'm interested in. I'm not interested in Gotham 15 years before the character I like shows up. I'm sorry, he's a tween, 12-year-old, I don't know, kid. So maybe 10 years, maybe 12 before Batman is a thing. So not even any of the villains are there. Not even any of the villains are there. So why the fuck do I give a crap?
Oh, but they are there.
No, they're not. That's the thing.
Fully grown adult Catwoman is there.
You are fucking with me. I don't keep track of Gotham.
The Penguin is there.
Oh no, you know what? I heard on a podcast I listened to, I heard someone mention the Penguin was there. That's fine. That can be Oswald's dad.
Joker's there.
No, I heard that's not true.
Mm.
There was a kid who was laughing and, they were playing at the Joker. Spoilers, they shot him. He's dead.
Oh, okay.
Which I'm fine with.
Man, you just ruined Gotham for me. Now I can never watch the series.
Good.
I
don't want it getting ratings. I want it canceled.
I forget. There's some other villain that's there. Scarecrow, maybe.
That's not. Look, you could do Hugo Strange. Hugo Strange is an old guy. That's fine.
Yeah, I mean, that's my argument.
There are Batman villains who are much older than Batman. You could do those. Yep. You can't do the ones who are of an age with Bruce, because that makes no fucking sense. But then again, all the television universe is a separate universe. It's one of, I'm sure, canonically, one of the 52 universes they have now. But it's just separate from the movies and comics. It's just separate. I know this because The Flash in Batman and the Infinite Sadness, different actor than The Flash from the TV show.
Well, good.
I feel like that was a missed call. Like, Flash is super popular. Why don't you just get that actor? I'm sure he'll work for peanuts. He's like 12, you know?
He's somewhere. I'm 24.
You look 12. That's a joke from the show, and it rang true. You look like a 7-year-old.
I'm not a big times movie guy. That's why I do a podcast on the internet for half an hour talking about bullshit. If I were a big times movie guy, God, but I would try to have better cohesion among my storylines, among my universes.
And that's the thing that Marvel does exceptionally well, because all that shit is tied in. Like, all the MCU stuff.
The comics are different.
The comics, but all the non-comic stuff, movies, television, all one universe.
Yep.
That's nice.
I did want to make that point before we sign off for the day. You said earlier that you think part of the problem is DC trying to distance themselves from Marvel, which I think is stupid. Because, I mean... And
Marvel's doing very well.
Well, yeah, A. B, I am a Marvel fanboy, but I'm not afraid to admit they whole cloth stole most of their best ideas from DC.
Not whole cloth. They added additional cloth so as to not get sued.
they did erase some of the lines
and Jack Kirby did very original concepts for them.
I digress.
Stanley did a lot of theft.
Why would you seek to distance yourself from something that is already so similar to you? Why would you not want some of that sweet, sweet pool of fans? And I guess the answer is because there is a huge demographic for sulky teens. We don't have Buffy right now. We don't have anything like that. We have Supernatural, but that's been, as I understand it, financially speaking, it is entirely supported by the crazy part of the fandom.
So they just play right into it. They turn into that skit. And you know what? I can't fault them for that.
No, go for it. Do you.
Do the show for the audience that shows up.
and this audience, the would-be watching Buffy audience, the Teen Wolf audience, if you will, is eating this shit up.
So good for them.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, like, get your paper. I understand. But for the movies, you know what? Even the movies, they did really well with the Dark Knight series. People shit on Dark Knight Rises. It made a lot of money.
Oh, sure.
It made all the money. So why are they going to mess that formula up? You want mild... Their pocketbooks have been told you want mildly gritty, very serious, very earnest, dour funeral dirge fare. You will give us all the money if we make that for you, so we will make that for you until you stop giving us all the money. And
I find fault with a company who's not interested in taking risks in the meantime, even if it was like a side project.
Yeah, even if you trot out the Ant-Man equivalent to be...
Yeah, like, fuck it, let's do Blue Beetle.
By God. You give me a Jamie Reyes Blue Beetle movie, I'll go see it twice. I'm not joking.
Blue Beetle Booster Gold? Yeah, if it's not a movie, I think they're doing a series.
Is it Jamie or is it Ted? Is it Core?
I think it's Jamie because it's Blue Beetle and Booster Gold.
I think that was Ted.
Was it Ted?
Yeah. I think Booster and Ted were good friends. But, I'll watch that too. I don't like him as much, but that's because...
But those two are fucking golden.
Yeah, Jamie Reyes is like Spider-Man. He's DC's Spider-Man. That's one of the reasons I like him. But, yeah, no, I'll watch Ted Core.
So it's future Batman.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
It's Space Batman. But...
No, the one...
I know what you're saying. And yes, pretty much.
Terry McGinnis.
Guy, normal, snarky teen in a super suit he doesn't understand.
Batman yells at him all the time.
Batman yells at him all the time. Look, they did a fucking formula, okay?
Oh, yeah. Oh.
But I just...
Which was also part of Batman Brave and the Bold.
Yep.
And it was Blue Beetle there, too.
Yep. But yeah, no, I would like that Booster Gold in anything.
Yeah.
What? What sort of future space do I live in now? But, yeah, no, I'll take a Ted Cord Booster Gold, series or whatever, so long as you're funny about it.
Yep.
So long as you play up what those characters are supposed to be, I'll watch your shit. I'm gonna watch The Flash.
Yeah. That's a good summary. Make more stuff we like and we'll do the thing.
Yeah, we'll give you money. Look, I'm not afraid to give you, my eyes, my money. I didn't say watch things, not actually give you my eyes. I need those to watch the thing.
Yeah.
But, I support the stuff that is like the stuff I like. I like comic books. And presumably, if there's a character from the comic book that you're making a thing about, unless I really hate the character from the comic book, which, to be fair, you cannot possibly know beforehand, I'll watch it if you make it like the thing from the fucking comic book.
Look, half the reason I'm going to go see Suicide Squad, fully half, is Captain Boomerang.
So fucking hilarious. And true, really.
Yeah, and actual facts. They were like
the
fucking day that was announced, I was like, who's in this? Captain Boomerang, sold, done and sold.
That movie looks bad. I hate the Joker already. Look, Jared Leto's got a fucking long road to hoe, okay? He gonna have to put a real command performance in to overcome the shittiness that is that outfit and that first trailer. But I really like that Harley. I really think Will Smith's gonna be an excellent Deadshot.
Yeah.
I think he's got the exact kind of gravitas to pull off that character. And fucking Captain Boomerang's in it.
Yeah, fucking Captain Boomerang.
Which just goes to show we really like Flash villains.
Yes, we do. I fucking love Flash villains. Unless they do a Superman movie with Satanis, then I'm fucking down.
No! It's this movie where it's like the first villain is Satanis, and then the second Satanis shows up halfway through.
Superman's just like, seriously, two guys who independently came up with the name Satanis?
Fucking... We're never gonna do that podcast.
No,
I mean, we've got time now. It's 30 minutes into a comic book podcast. Do you wanna queue up the Satanis conversation?
I think it's best presented in a slightly different medium than podcast. I plan on giving the listener, or perhaps viewer at that point, a look into this madness, but I think we need to cultivate it a bit better than just audio.
Just keep dropping the Satanis joke. It'll bring them in. And
hey, fuck, what's his name? Nope, I've lost the joke. It's gone now. I'm going to think of it 5 words into your sentence. I can see his dumb face.
His dumb... Oh, so...
He did those anime reviews on Channel Awesome. He had the stupid hat.
I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Oh, man. Listener, if you're a Channel Awesome person right now, is going, look at this guy. You can see his mushy lips and...
Anime reviews?
Yeah. He's friends with Spoonie.
Phaelus?
No, not Phaelus. Phaelus reviews horror movies and now toys.
Oh, no. Sage.
Sage, yes, Bennett the Sage. Bennett the Sage teased that one, fucking Violence Jack for, a year and then didn't review it. So I think I can drop Satanis bombs for a while now. Yeah, everything is better when nerds talk about it.
You stole my line.
You can have it now if you want.
Thank you. Everything's better when nerds talk about it.
Fuck it, let's get hardcore! Blood, pain, we're all insane. Suffer